Hulk Hogan's death has hit the world like a thunderbolt. It's hard to believe that the man who once stood as the face of strength, power, and pure charisma is really gone. The legend who once seemed untouchable, almost superhuman, met a heartbreaking end due to serious health problems. Who would have ever imagined the Hulk Hogan going out like this? It's surreal. But instead of just mourning, let's take a moment to look back, really look back, at the life of the man who didn't just wrestle in the ring, he changed the entire game. This is our tribute to the one and only Hulk Hogan. Let's start with the heartbreaking details of his passing. Hulk Hogan had been dealing with serious health issues for years, especially with his back. Decades of heavy weightlifting and taking brutal bumps in the ring really took a toll on him after he stepped away from wrestling. He tried everything to fix it, different treatments, procedures, but nothing really worked. In December 2010, he finally went through traditional spinal fusion surgery, which gave him enough relief to get back to some of his usual activities. But it didn't stop there. In 2013, Hogan filed a massive $50 million lawsuit against the Laser Spine Institute. He said they talked him into getting 6 unnecessary and ineffective back surgeries over 19 months, and those only gave him short-term relief while making things worse in the long run. On top of that, they used his name in ads without his permission, which just added fuel to the fire. The clinic ended up shutting down in 2019. Sadly, on July 24, 2025, Hogan passed away from cardiac arrest at his home in Clearwater, Florida. He was 71. Just a month earlier, he had gone through another major spinal fusion surgery. There were rumors that his health had taken a serious downturn, but his wife, Sky, was quick to shut those down. Now let's rewind all the way back to where this incredible journey first began.
Everything else is just temporary. Everything, fame, the money, the ego, the physical, everything is just temporary.
Back in 1977, after over a year of intense training with Hiro Matsuda, Hogan finally got his shot. The Briscoe brothers showed up at Matsuda's gym, and Jack Briscoe handed Hogan a pair of wrestling boots, letting him know he had his first match lined up for the following week. That match happened on August 10, 1977, in Fort Myers, Florida, where Hogan took on Brian Blair. Not long after, Hogan wore a mask and wrestled as the Super Destroyer, a mysterious character passed down by other wrestlers before him. Eventually, Hogan parted ways with Matsuda, feeling his training style was too harsh. He left Florida wrestling for a while, managed a beach club in Cocoa Beach, and later opened a gym with a friend named Whitey Bridges. Hogan's longtime buddy Ed Leslie, who would later be known as Brutus Beefcake, joined him there. They trained together, bulked up, and soon Hogan was itching to return to the ring. He called superstar Billy Graham in 1978, asking for help getting back in, and that call changed everything. Hogan and Leslie joined the Alabama wrestling scene as the Boulder Brothers. Fans believed they were real brothers because of their similar looks and the secrecy of wrestling at the time. A better opportunity came when Memphis promoter Jerry Jarrett offered them $800 a week to jump to his promotion, far better than what they were making in Alabama. They took the deal. While in Memphis, Hogan appeared on a talk show next to Lou Ferrigno, who played the Incredible Hulk. The host pointed out that Hogan looked even bigger, and that's how the Hulk name stuck. He started calling himself Terry the Hulk Boulder and sometimes used the name Sterling Golden. By late 1979, Hogan made his WWF debut, thanks to Terry Funk introducing him to Vince McMahon Sr., who gave him the name Hogan. His first match under the new name was a win against Harry Valdez, and by December he was wrestling at Madison Square Garden. Hogan's rise was steady, and before long, he was feuding with legends like Andre the Giant and appearing in Japan, where he was called Ichiban, meaning number one. Hogan's early years were just the beginning of something much, much bigger. When Vince McMahon Jr. took over the WWF from his father in 1982, he had one big vision: turn wrestling into a national phenomenon. And for that, he needed a larger-than-life figure. Enter Hulk Hogan. Vince handpicked him to be the face of the company, and Hogan made his official return on December 27, 1983, at a TV taping in St. Louis. By January 1984, Hogan's fan-favorite status was made crystal clear when he saved Bob Backlund from a beatdown by the Wild Samoans. Just weeks later, Hogan shocked the wrestling world by defeating the Iron Sheik in Madison Square Garden to win his first WWF World Heavyweight Championship. This marked the true beginning of Hulkamania. The crowd went wild, and commentator Gorilla Monsoon made it official. Hulkamania is here. From that point on, Hogan became the ultimate wrestling hero. He called his fans Hulkamaniacs and preached his famous 3 demandments: train hard, say your prayers, and eat your vitamins. Later, he added a fourth: believe in yourself. His matches followed a pattern fans loved. He'd take a beating, hulk up, point that finger, land a big boot, and finish with his signature leg drop. But it wasn't just wrestling. Hogan was everywhere, on magazine covers and cartoons, on Saturday Night Live, and even had a role in launching WrestleMania. In the very first one, he teamed with Mr. T to take on Roddy Piper and Paul Orndorff in a match that helped WWF explode into mainstream culture. He headlined 7 of the first 8 WrestleManias and had epic feuds with legends like King Kong Bundy, Paul Orndorff, and especially Andre the Giant. Their clash at WrestleMania 3, where Hogan body-slammed the 520-pound giant, became one of the most iconic moments in wrestling history. Hogan held the WWF title for over 4 years, an unheard-of run, but it came to an end in 1988 when Andre the Giant, in a controversial match, handed the belt over to Ted DiBiase. The title was declared vacant, leading to a tournament at WrestleMania 4, where Hogan helped his new ally, Macho Man Randy Savage, win the championship. Together with Miss Elizabeth, they formed the Mega Powers, a powerhouse team that would eventually explode due to jealousy and mistrust. That fallout led to Hogan reclaiming the WWF title at WrestleMania 5, proving once again why he was the heart of the wrestling world. Hulk Hogan's second run as WWF champion kicked off in 1989 and lasted a full year. He had a few title defenses against Macho Man Randy Savage, but most of those ended in countouts, meaning Hogan technically kept the belt. One of his more memorable defenses was a steel cage match against Big Boss Man, which aired in May on Saturday Night's Main Event. Around this time, the title was also officially renamed the WWF Championship, dropping the World Heavyweight label. While still champion, Hogan starred in the movie No Holds Barred, which introduced fans to a new rival, his co-star, Zeus. Zeus, played by actor Tom Lister Jr., showed up on WWF TV claiming he wanted revenge because Hogan got top billing in the film. They clashed in tag matches with Brutus Beefcake and Macho Man, Savage getting involved too. Hogan always came out on top, but the feud gave fans a good dose of movie-style drama in the ring. At WrestleMania 6 in 1990, Hogan passed the torch to the Ultimate Warrior in a title versus title match. After that, Hogan shifted his focus to a new challenge, Earthquake. The massive 468-pounder attacked Hogan during a segment on the Brother Love Show, crushing his ribs. World Wildlife Fund sold it as so serious, they teased Hogan's retirement and asked fans to send in letters urging him to return. Of course, Hogan came back by SummerSlam, beat Earthquake, and even added a fourth demandment to his routine: believe in yourself. He then won the 1991 Royal Rumble, and later beat Sergeant Slaughter at WrestleMania 7 to win his third WWF Championship. But as rumors swirled about steroids in wrestling, Hogan took a step back. He made a few more appearances, but by the end of 1993, it was clear. Hogan's time in WWF was winding down, and WCW was calling. After WCW folded in 2001, Hulk Hogan had knee surgery, hoping for one more run in the ring. He tested the waters in a match against Curt Hennig for Jimmy Hart's XWF and felt good enough to return to the big stage. So in February 2002, Hogan was back in the WWF, this time as the leader of the original NWO, alongside Scott Hall and Kevin Nash. Soon after, Hogan won the undisputed WWF Championship from Triple H, making him the last WWF champion before the company became WWE. But his reign didn't last long. The Undertaker took the title at Judgment Day. Hogan had more memorable moments, though. He teamed up with Edge to win the tag team titles and feuded with Brock Lesnar, who beat him in a brutal match that left Hogan unconscious. In 2003, Hogan returned as Mr. America, a masked version of himself who denied being, well, himself. The gimmick was short-lived, and Hogan eventually quit over creative issues. He then made appearances in Japan and flirted with a TNA run. By 2005, he was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame and had classic matches against Shawn Michaels and Randy Orton. After a falling out with WWE, Hogan wrestled Ric Flair in Australia and later joined TNA full-time, becoming deeply involved in storylines with Dixie Carter and the Aces and Eights faction. He returned to WWE in 2014, hosted WrestleMania 30, and later co-hosted WrestleMania 37. Hogan's last appearance came in January 2025, promoting his Real American Beer, his final moment in wrestling before his death. And that wraps up today's video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next one. Take care.